Okay, once that lower one's out, this thing should just pull right out, and it does. Yo, what's up, Duff here? What you see is the Inmotion V14 Pro. I've done a decent amount of riding on this. I've done an off-road ride. I've done a range test, around the community riding. And I am going to be replacing the shock on this wheel. The stock shock is a progressive spring. It is a 600/970 pound spring, meaning that it initially gives about 600 pounds of resistance, and as you get deeper into the spring, it's 970, which is great for big drops, significant off-roading. But for just on-road riding, which I do primarily, it's kind of overkill, and I would prefer a softer suspension. The suspension does take the edge off, but it is definitely on the firm side because of that spring. What I did is I went out and I bought this. This is a Inmotion replacement spring for the V14. That is a 500/600 pound spring, so it's a lighter weight spring. In theory, it should give you a softer ride, and I have heard other people that have done this swap and they've had good results, so I'm hoping for good results for myself as well. So without further ado, it doesn't look that difficult to swap out, so I watched a Inmotion video on how to do this, so follow along with me. All right, first thing we have to do is remove these side covers here, both sides, and it's held on by 2 bolts here and here on each side, so let me take those out. Okay, I would recommend taking off the pad if it's obstructing this at all. It just kind of take those 2 screws out and then just rotate it that way to get it out. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Next thing that has to come off is the battery box protector and the rear. There's 2 bolts to hold in each of these, and there's a total of 4 bolts to hold in the kickstand. You can use the same Allen wrench on this, which is nice. There you go. Got some dirt left over from my off-road ride, unfortunately. Probably should have cleaned this prior to doing it, but oh well. I'm going to take out these 2 bolts, flip it around, and we'll be ready to progress to the next step. This one screw hole is filled with sand, courtesy of my ride last weekend. Have the bolts out, lifts right off. Okay, so now we need to turn our attention to the pedal brackets. There's 4 bolts hold on the pedal brackets, and then the lower battery box connectors need to come off because this backer plate needs to be loose, so or come off actually. So that's why we got to do that. So let me see how tight these are. Okay, got those 4 screws out. Pedal bracket off. I don't know about you, but I like to kind of keep my parts organized. When I lay a part down, I like to keep the screws that came with it, with the part. Helps me to not forget where stuff goes. One small thing they mentioned in the video, you want the trolley handle released when you're doing this work, so it allows for the springs that put tension on the trolley handle to not pop out the bottom. Okay, got those 4 battery box lower screws out, and then you just can remove this bracket. So now there will be play in the, well, once I do the other side, now there will be enough play in the suspension to be able to remove the shock easily. So I'm just going to repeat the same process on the other side. Okay, with those bottom pieces off, now we're ready to work on the actual shock itself. There's 2 mounting spots for the shock, up here and up here. You have to kind of work it from both sides. You need to be on the bolt side, and then you need something on the other side to hold that still. So I'm going to go get another wrench, but this part should not be too difficult. Okay, this was tight. I had to put my pliers in this side to be able to hold it still enough that I could break it free. Definitely tight, but it's loose now. So you got like one bolt, and then you got your bolt, and then on the other side it's like a long sleeve. Okay. So these are for your upper shock tower. Now I'll do the lower, which should be easier. Okay, let's see if this is any looser or tighter than the top one. It's tight. It's tight. All right, let me get these bolts out and we'll proceed. Okay, once that lower one's out, this thing should just pull right out, and it does. Easy peasy. So you want a side-by-side 600/970 versus the 500/600. Easy way to tell is just look at the color of the spring. If it's white, it's the high tension spring. Black, it's the lower lower tension spring. So I'm just going to reverse this to get this back in. I'm just going to get this started. I'm not going to tighten it until I have them both in place because that makes sense to me. Getting this top one aligned initially is a little tough, so I use my long T-bar wrench to go through and to be able to get this aligned because it didn't want to line up just based on finger pressure getting it in place, but I think we'll be good now. Nope. It was still giving me some issues, so what I did is I just removed this bottom spring. I think it's going to be a lot easier to finagle and just bump this to get it aligned on the bottom than the top. So I have it pushed through the top now, but it did not want to go through until I release the tension here. Definitely seems easier to me to connect this one first and this one second. Much less struggle. All right, so I'm going to tighten these up pretty tight since they were pretty tight to start with. Now, in their video, they say something about setting the wheel upright to make sure that this is, I don't know, aligned or seated correctly. I'm gonna see if I need to do that or not. Let you know in a minute. All right, it's giving me a little bit of trouble lining that up. So I have it on the ground just supposed to kind of do that to get them aligned. I just rewatched the reassembly part of this where you push down on the top of the wheel, and just took notice that when they're doing this, they actually have two people. Bruh. They have one person that's on top pushing down on the wheel, and then the other person is reinstalling this bracket because if you don't have tension going down, then you can't seat it correctly. So I don't know. Maybe I can figure out a way to do this solo. I'm not sure. Okay, how do I do this? You may ask. When there's a will, there's a way. I basically got on it like a horse so I could get the weight on it. And then I just dropped in these two battery box screws just to hold it in place. And then from there I should be able to do the rest. That's interesting. So what I'm doing is I'm getting all the battery box screws in first just to hold it in place. And then I have to put it back up on the table and release the tension because, as you can see, the springs for the trolley handle are sticking out. So I need to put it back up on the table, release the trolley handle, then put the pedals on. So yeah, again, this is if you have one person. If you have two people, you can do what they do in the video. You can do what they do in the Inmotion video. Okay, with it back on the table and the tension on the trolley handle springs relieved, I should be able to fit this back over here. Yep, and then we're good to reattach the pedal hangers. Got this side back together, 4 bolts here, 4 bolts here. Make sure they're all tight, especially the pedal hanger brackets. They need to be extra tight. I'm gonna spin it around and do the other side. Pedals and battery box lower bolts are reconnected. Now we're going to reattach the kickstand. Just like you had to do when you got your new wheel. Battery box protector. So with these side pieces, you angle it up. Yes, this is the wrong side, but you angle it up. There's little hooks here, you hook it in there. And then there's some snaps. The snaps need to grab it to pull it tight to the body, and then just replace your 2 screws. I'll try to demonstrate on this side. So you can see the little, not even hooks, they're just to guide it initially. Just kind of angle it in, then just kind of push, snap, snap. Just got to snap in the front yet. Snap. Okay, 3 snaps, screw, you're done. So there you go. Shock replacement complete. Out with the old, in with the 500, 600 pound spring instead. So I'll do another video where I will give you my impressions of the differences between the two, between the stock spring and this replacement. You don't have to necessarily just put an Inmotion spring on here. Any shock that is has a 200 millimeter spacing, from what I understand, is potentially compatible, but I'd rather just use Inmotion parts personally. So I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please think about giving it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you don't see, or if you're already a subscriber and you want to get notified of all new videos, you can hit the notify bell, which is over there somewhere, I think. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. If you're interested in purchasing an Inmotion wheel, there's an affiliate code or an affiliate link down below, as well as a discount code that applies to any wheel that is not currently on sale. So feel free to take advantage of that. But that's all I have for now. Hope you had a great weekend. Until next time, Duffman out. And if my knee and hip was not bothering me as it is right now, I would take it out and give you a decent ride right now. But right now, things aren't going so well. So, oh wow, we can do the bouncy test though. Oh yeah, that gives way more. I think I'm gonna be happy.